If somebody takes my private class or even my online Zoom class, I can pretty much guarantee that they will be able to paint highly realistic oil paintings that could be mistaken for my own paintings, even on their very first painting. Now, nobody believes me, or very few people believe me, except for, students that have taken my class or people that are intimately familiar with, what I'm doing and know me and have seen my students' work. So let me just tell you the story about, how this all came about. And so when I first started painting back in '85, I had some books on how to paint in oil, and they were confusing to me, and I didn't understand that. And I'm just the type of person that I just tried to figure it out on my own. And I came up with this method, which I teach. Now, when I originally, I painted portraits for, 20 years at least. I was painting all these portraits, and I was getting $60,000 for a 3/4 length portrait. I had a 3 or 4 year wait most of my career, so I had a very successful career as a portrait artist. And then I basically got burnt out on that, and I started actually, I taught all my employees to paint. That was the first thing. Is everybody that ever worked for me, I ended up teaching them how to paint, and their paintings look very similar to my paintings. So I created a DVD, The Carter Method for Painting in Oil, which I released in 2007. Did very well with that, and then moved into teaching on YouTube in 2012. And, my method is now being taught not just by me, but other teachers are teaching, parts of my method. But this is something, the message that I have for you is that this really does work. Anybody can learn to paint in oil, anybody at all. I could pretty much guarantee it. If you take my class here in Austin, or you take my class online, you absolutely will learn to paint highly realistic oil paintings on your very first try. So I can show you, students' work to illustrate all this, but you would maybe think I was just cherry picking the very best ones and not showing you the failures. So this is the finished still life of my student who just finished my class 2 days ago. It's still wet on the easel, and she was kind enough to share it with everybody. Now, it might take you a long time, and some people are surprised that when they take my class, it's a 6-day class, and the only thing we paint in the entire week is a single small little still life. And some people are surprised and think, is that all we're going to do? But the thing is that speed comes later. In the very beginning, I like my students to go very, very slow, to take all the time they need. Now, there are very few students that don't succeed, and just don't have the wherewithal to sit there and, work through the tedious workflow that they have to do. It does take some work. As soon as you learn this method, and what we're really trying to do on that very first painting that you paint is to show you that you can do it. And that is the biggest hurdle of all, because once you've even painted even a single object, but it looks highly realistic, then you can do it, and you gain that confidence. So the claim is that I can teach anybody to paint a still life or a landscape or pretty much anything other than a full-face portrait. Now, that is something that I can also teach, but I highly recommend that students do still lifes and show that they can paint a highly realistic still life first, and even practice that 10 times or 20 paintings before you get into painting a portrait. And a portrait's painted the very same way as a still life. It's the exact same method, but the difference is that, of course, with a portrait, you've got to get everything exactly right, or you're not going to get a likeness. And if you are interested in taking a private class from me, or one online, just email mark@drawmixpaint.com, and I'll send you all the information about my classes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.